Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ballerz POV show. I am here today with Nick Olson. We're going to talk to him a little bit about his business and some just basic personal questions. First of all, please don't forget to like and subscribe to Ballerz on Instagram and YouTube. We really appreciate that. So let's get started here with Nick. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is you do.
What's happening, everybody? My name is Nick Olson. I'm 42 years old. I live here in the Phoenix Valley from the northwest corner in Peoria. And I own a local business called Chupacabra Offroad. We make accessories for off-road vehicles. A lot of you guys in Arizona and the Southwest have probably seen them. They're called UTVs, side-by-sides, razors, Can-Ams, all that type of thing, and heavily immersed in that world and living my personal dream of taking a passion and creating a business out of it and making a living and sharing my lifestyle.
Very nice. Awesome. All right, let's get into some questions here. We can talk a little bit more about your business as we go along. On a scale of 1 to 10, how competitive would you say that you are?
I'd say I'm about a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
That's one of the beautiful things about being a business owner is you control all the levers. And I think I've become more competitive over time since I've started my own business because you are working where, in comparison to working in the corporate world, sometimes you're handcuffed and you can only do so much. So
Sure.
I think my competitiveness has only grown.
Yeah? Okay, good. What's your biggest failure you've ever experienced? And then, after that, what did you learn?
I haven't had a major failure setback that comes to mind. I guess I did work for a company that I very strongly disliked. And that happens to a lot of people all the time. I think why I consider that to be a failure is because it made me unhappy. It put me in a zone where I was just upset, and it ended up being a huge blessing because it motivated me to start my own business. But you try as you kind of navigate your life, and ultimately we're responsible for our own scenarios. But I was in a position where I just wasn't the best version of myself, and ultimately I was to blame. And like I said, I was able to kind of turn that into motivation. But it was something that set me back personally. I would say like my day-to-day happiness. So that's kind of one of the things that comes to mind.
Gotcha. So, as opposed to failure, then what do you think would be the best compliment from someone you've ever received, whether that be business or personal related?
A lot of the compliments on the business really, make me feel good personally, particularly because my business started off with a lot of my own ideas, own branding, marketing, strategy, products. So when we get compliments about products that I was very instrumental with a lot of the ideas in developing, along with the ideas of the content. So, I feel most flattered or most excited when, I knew I put an idea and some heart and soul behind it and people really liked it. So that's probably what gets me the most stuff.
Nice. Have you ever received an insult that you took as a compliment?
Yeah. Past jobs. I had an old manager who said I was either a little bit too confident or a little bit too arrogant for based what the old job was. And that was probably accurate. And, I think, unfortunately, arrogance can be a little off-putting, but you've got to believe in yourself. And,
Sure.
And I look at it as a compliment because if you don't believe in yourself and believe that you're capable of more, then you're going to do more.
Definitely. Agreed. How about, do you have any, funny stories that if we were to talk to your family and what would come to their mind that they would love to share about you to maybe embarrass you or anything that that's just maybe a childhood memory or something that would.
Yeah, there's lots, like most of us.
Yeah.
The one that comes to mind is I recently took my kids to Disneyland for the first time.
Okay.
And then my mom brings up when I was little, their age, I was 3, and I think we were waiting in line for the ride, one of the rocket ship ride or whatever it was. And I had to go to the restroom, and I didn't want to wait, so I just whipped it out and
there you go.
I started going to the bathroom. I think my mom was there with one of her friends who didn't have kids at the time.
But
so, a lot of you guys that don't have kids are probably embarrassed or blown away. But if you have a kid or have kids, you're like, it happens. So it was a shining moment that gets brought up now and again.
I'm sure, definitely. What is the number one item on your bucket list that you have yet to check off?
I love to mountain bike. And I've mountain biked in Whistler, British Columbia, which is one of the best places on planet Earth, and love it. But there's a typical scenario that we can take the helicopter up all the way to the top of a mountain and ride downhill for 6 hours straight. So I have a couple buddies that have done it. It makes me really amazed when I see the photos and videos of them doing that, and it seems like very utopic to go to my favorite place and then go to a very rare spot you can only do in certain conditions, certain time of year, and ride my bike down the hill in Canada for 6 hours straight.
Nice. Very cool. If you had 30 minutes to like sit around a campfire with 4 people, they could be, just random people, famous people, alive, dead. Who comes to mind, and kind of why would you pick those 4 people just to sit down for a half hour and talk about whatever?
Man, alive or dead is challenging. I think about people that I would maybe never come into contact with, and
Sure.
For me, that's like musicians or people that are some of my favorites. So Jay-Z is the first person that comes to mind. I'm a huge fan of his. And then to round out a foursome, I'd say him, Kanye, of course, Mos Def, and Talib Kweli was like 4 of my favorite rappers. And man, I wish it was more than 30 minutes, but
Yeah.
to get to interact with them in real time around a campfire would be pretty amazing.
Those are good choices. I think those, out of everyone that we've talked to, that's definitely some good ones for sure. Biggest pet peeve?
I have a lot. Little things get under my skin. I hate when people chew too loud, or when you're at the movies and people are rustling their candy wrappers and their papers and stuff. Like, that drives me nuts. Like, close your mouth when you chew and be quiet. And I know it's like when you're eating corn nuts, it's kind of hard, but be quiet when you chew.
I hear you. Yeah. Let's say you won $10 million tomorrow. What are you gonna do?
Man, that would definitely be a life-changing event. I would put some money away to take care of family, invest some of it for the future, learn how to be smart with it. But, a splurge would be, I'd buy something extravagant. And when I think about probably the coolest extravagant purchase I've always wanted to purchase, that'd be a trophy truck, which is a unlimited off-road race truck with a lot of horsepower and a lot of suspension.
Nice. Yeah, you gotta have a splurge in there for sure. So 5 years from now, it'll be 2027. What do you think the world's going to look like? I mean, 5 years, it's not that long in the future, but, definitely some changes, I think. What's that going to look like to you?
Being my age and living enough through life, I think these futuristic questions, and a lot doesn't necessarily change. It makes me think about technology and how technology is going to change our day-to-day life. That being said, I think there'll be more electric cars, there'll be self-driving cars and trucks going down the road, and how that will change people's professions, truckers in America, that kind of thing. I don't know if 5 years is realistic. Also, I don't know if 5 years is going to be enough time for, like VR headsets and that type of thing of the next world of technology. So I think things will be a little bit more tweaked and a little bit more down those roads, but I think life will largely be the same of what it is, just with a little more advancements in technology that more people every day will be using, and leading to a little bit different change in lifestyle, I think.
It's a little bit harder question than can you even think or fathom like 50 years down the road what that's going to look like if we're still here?
Yeah, I mean, 50 years, I'll be 92 years old. My kids will be senior citizens. What I was kind of alluding to, the electric cars, all that type of thing, you talk about population, and like right now, a big topic in the Southwest is just, 2 big lakes that we've all, recreation at, Lake Powell, Lake Mead, water usage, drought, like a lot of factors, all different aspects. And when you add 50 years, you add a lot of population, you add, more people, and the resources and all that type of thing. So I think technology will help us navigate that as a globe. I think there might be maybe a little bit more simplistic living. I think it might be cool to live in something a little bit smaller, maybe live with more minimal resources. So I don't know, maybe that looks like, housing that's more, solar energy, solar power, that type of thing, and people are living a little bit more of a minimalistic lifestyle, taking account for the growing population and resources we have here on Earth and how we all work together. I think 50 years is a long enough time. I think that those type of things are going to have to come into play.
For sure, definitely. Switching gears a little, what kind of motivates you every day with what you do, and when you get up in the morning? What's kind of those factors that just really want you to keep pursuing your business and keeping it growing?
The same type of things probably motivate everybody, wife and kids. I've, my business started as a side hustle in 2016.
Okay.
And then in 2018, I quit my job and went full time.
Oh, nice.
So, I'm at a point right now where I've got this snowball rolling, and now you can't stop pushing it and rolling it and making it bigger. So there are days, honestly, when it's like keeping your head above water type of thing, keeping pace with what we have to achieve. So there's that type of motivation, and then now kind of where we've evolved to is just being growing, being more strategic, bringing on more people that can help us execute, grow our sales, grow our channels, take what we're doing and take it to the next level. And I'm really focusing a lot on culture. So I think that's where I'm at right now in the moment, what motivates me. So I think one thing that really motivates me too is when you start a business, there's a lot of things that are on your plate. Everything's on your plate. And I started off, like most of us, with what we tend to be really good at. For me, it was sales and marketing, and our marketing itself and content creation. It was a passion I always had. And then I've kind of developed more into learning how to make products. And then now I'm focusing more on operations. So, say all that to tell you that I think focusing on some of my weaknesses as a business owner and just kind of trying to elevate is what motivates me the most at this moment in time.
Nice. So going off that, then you kind of touched on a little bit. What would you say then is the biggest challenge with your business, or just kind of growing and marketing and those sorts of things that you face right now?
Yeah, a lot of us right now are dealing with the global situation with supply chain. That's very difficult because, getting products on time and the rising costs, and you're trying not to raise your prices to your end consumer and be competitive in the marketplace. That's a huge challenge. And then that causes ripple effects related to cash flow and then finding good employees. So, the macroeconomic headwinds we're all facing right now is overarching, but I think maybe a better answer, it's more specific to our business is me becoming a better operations person, becoming a better leader and a manager, and making sure that people on our team feel supported and excited and are optimized. And then also working together, we're creating this good culture where that will naturally happen. And that's very difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Who would you say has been your most influential coach or mentor? It doesn't necessarily have to be, in business, but it could be in life, or just anyone that you look to as sort of that person that, again, kind of motivates you or inspires you.
I've had not necessarily a lot of mentors in terms of starting my business, and I've had some bosses that were mentors to me, in my professional career. One person I really think about is someone I've only met once, his name is Gary Vaynerchuk. He's big in the marketing world. He's pretty big on content, on social media and all of that. But I say that because he has a lot of good content on many different levels. So, if you're looking to start your own business, first off, you have to believe that you can. And there's a lot of mindset stuff that a lot of us have to get through, so we have the confidence to execute our dreams. And then he also has a lot of tactical content as well, if you really dig. And there's a lot of people like him that, if you're looking to maybe start a business, that's a beautiful thing right now with all the content. People are sharing their pearls of wisdom. And I think that can be a huge tailwind if you're in that space where you're excited, you're passionate about something, maybe you don't like where you're at, you have some ideas. Well, you've got to kind of percolate, you've got to get a lot of that information, you've got to get a lot of those vibes and be absorbing that. And Gary Vaynerchuk, for me, for a long period of time, is something I listened to and kind of help talk yourself into the confidence that you need to be successful in almost anything in life.
Nice. Very cool. So what would you say the most valuable lesson that you've learned with your job, and something that you think everyone, no matter what kind of business or what they're doing in life, it's just one lesson you think it's important for everyone to kind of learn as they grow?
I think business-wise, I think marketing is very important. Kind of goes back to Gary Vee. As you try to grow and have brand awareness, I think along with that, to be good at it, you really have to be authentic, which is similar to, like advice if you're asking about just being a person. So, I think if you want personal success, whether that becomes starting your own business or just in general, being authentic with yourself. And then I think people can really feel it. We're at a point in time now where everyone can make content. A lot of people are putting themselves out there, but it seems like people that always win are just authentically themselves and really good in their niche or just who they are as a person. And I think we can feel that authenticity. I think a lot of people, whether we're watching a YouTube video or we're a customer, like we have very good BS meters. And, you've got to be authentic to win. And I love it. I think it's great because I think authenticity should win. And it's kind of a change of pace where people can kind of do other, black hat tactics from a while ago. Now everyone kind of puts themselves out there to achieve a lot of success.
Definitely agree with that. So what's one thing in relation to your job and the business you're in that a lot of people, you don't see eye to eye with people about, or something that people in your industry, you don't necessarily agree with them on?
My industry, we're in the off-road world. We're a small niche of very passionate enthusiasts. I love the people in our niche, the customers and all that, because we're all just diehard to live this lifestyle and be a part of it. I think a lot of the businesses don't take marketing as seriously as they could or should. I think it's definitely more of an old school industry. And I think we've been able to grow our brand quickly by believing and then also executing on that and just putting out content consistently. And it's very difficult to do. It's like it's a profession in itself. So I see why it's hard. And like when social was first starting out, there was debates. What is the value of a Facebook post or a social media following? I think now we're at a point, obviously, where even in maybe some more laggard industries like ours, that everybody knows the importance of putting yourself out there and building a reputation. Like I think of like Haley Vegan as a female athlete with vegan family and other companies or people that take it very seriously and what that leads to for their future value and opportunities and the value that they provide to the people that they work with. And it's still very hard to execute. So I think that's something that our industry could be better at. Like if you look at like fitness, it seems like health and fitness really understood it from the get-go, and you see like how polished they tend to be on social, how serious they take it. As a quick comparison.
Yeah, very true. So what time of day would you say you get your best work done? Are you morning, evening, middle of the day? What's that look like for you?
In my old age, I've turned into an early bird.
Same.
So, I grew up in Las Vegas, so the town of wild hours, and I always work swing shift.
Okay.
And usually I go to bed till midnight. And
sure.
Now that I've got kids and routine is everything, I'm up at 5:15, 5:30. I try to get a gym workout in before the kids get off to school, and then I tend to be really in the zone. I live off caffeine, so I get my coffee. It just kind of puts me in the primal mode, I think, from like 8 till noon. And then sometimes I can flatten out a little bit. That's when I tend to be my best.
Gotcha. If you could fire anyone right now in any position, who would that be and why?
You like fire anybody in my business or fire people
just
in
anyone.
general?
Yeah, in general.
I think recently some I've been paying close attention to some of the macroeconomic challenges that we're facing now, and it seems like some of this decision of printing money, later, after the pandemic, after we kind of had clear, cohesive data about what was going on and how that was, affecting businesses and people in our country. And not to get political, I just think that, a lot of money was printed and now I've got some issues with inflation, and it seems like we're going to be in for a pretty strong headwind here for the next 12 months. So I'll probably fire the people or group of people responsible for printing as much money as got printed months or even a year plus after. We kind of had some statistical data from the change of what COVID has done to the country and the world.
What is something you have absolutely no desire to ever do?
I don't have a desire to build a business so big that it would take 20 or 30 years plus, like, $500 million, $500 million company, that type of thing. It seems like it would take a tremendous amount of energy, time, and effort. And not saying I don't want my business to be successful, but it seems like to get to that level, the hundreds of thousands of employees and decisions and strategy and time that it would take to execute that. Even if you were in in an industry that's best suited for that, like technology, would be incredibly difficult and not something I would want to spend 30 years building a business.
Gotcha. Something you'd pay right now $1 million to do.
I don't like doing a lot of yard work. I don't like doing a lot of remodeling. I don't like hanging, I don't like hanging fans and things of that nature. I did it kind of growing up, put myself through school, and I even tile flooring, a lot of those jobs that I just cringe thinking about. So, my wife and I have a home, and we want to get our yard built out and the garage built out, and by the time that gets all built out, it might be around that amount of money. So that type of stuff and home improvements, I'd gladly rather pay somebody than try to do it myself.
A good choice. I like that one. Last question we always ask everyone that comes on here: have you ever used any of the Ballerz products? And if so, what were your thoughts on those? Or if you haven't used them, any desire to maybe take a look at what we've got?
Yeah, I haven't used them. I definitely have a desire. My wife got me some more comfortable, underwear, and it's very nice. It's comfortable to wear. I mean, we're here in the heat in Arizona. I mean, it's that type of stuff makes a huge difference in your day to day. And I remember, from 10 years prior to this, like companies investing in more technical materials. I think of Lululemon and Under Armour, and people realizing, wow, having moisture, wicking, breathable fabrics against your skin is amazing. Particularly when you don't live in San Diego or anywhere else where it's above 80 degrees. So I think that just makes life a little bit more enjoyable every day. And for sure interested in checking some out. I'll be purchasing some online here soon.
Awesome. Where can people, if they want to learn more about your business, where can they find you? Any social media sites, websites you want to share before we conclude?
Yeah, thanks again for having me. Again, our company's name is Chupacabra Offroad. So our website is chupacabra-offroad.com. We're pretty much everywhere on social, so you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I think our biggest following is on TikTok. We're even on Pinterest. So,
okay, great.
We try to be everywhere and at the highest quality we can. So any of those at Chupacabra, you can find us.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Nick, for joining us today. We appreciate it and loved having you. Thank you for watching, guys. And again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow Ballerz, and we will see you next time.